Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
Baka.
Yay, welcome back, Baka. We missed you. Yay.
Don't sound so
You know
excited,
what?
The
man.
kitty cat.
At least the rest of us can be excited for Baka's return if he's not going to be excited. Screw you. I'll be excited on your
Yay. behalf.
Not
Could have been
excited for anything.
Yay!
He's like
Throwing
that
a party.
crowd. Yeah.
I'm Eeyore. I just sound sad and depressed.
Maybe
all
that's
the
why I
time.
like you. Like, we're so
Oh,
close
no.
friends because Eeyore was my favorite.
Woe is me.
Yeah, my favorite in that cast.
I'm back on the show.
That's, now that I think about it, that's pretty accurate for Baka, yeah. If I've had enough coffee, then I could be like Tigger. If I have not had enough coffee, then I'm just also... I'm whichever one sleeps in the corner the most.
I just think it's funny that you chose Tigger and that happens to be the drink I'm drinking. the glass
bug.
I'm drinking out of.
What games has everybody been playing this week?
World of Warcraft and Friday the 13th a lot.
Yeah, you've been playing a lot of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I
You're
saw
just
that.
Killing folks, huh?
I have been getting in games, mostly playing as Jason, and just I don't have to talk to anyone. I just stay quiet. I have my mic on mute, and I just go around killing people.
He really is the silent killer.
Although I've had games where, one game where someone glitched themselves up on the roof, so I couldn't get to them.
Wow.
Wow.
Apparently that's a bug. I found out there is another bug where sometimes when you use the throwing knife on the car, it makes it like go and fly off somewhere and destroys it.
The car?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Holy
it
shit, that is
just,
one
like...
strong ass dagger.
Yeah, I
I
was throwing it at a counselor who was because they stopped the car to let them in, and I missed and hit the car instead, and it sent it flying.
Did they get flung out with it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so does it kill
Holy
them?
shit.
No,
Oh.
it just
wow.
spawns them off.
Oh.
It just
basically.
eliminates their ride,
Holy
basically.
Wow.
Gets rid of the car.
I'm gonna try to remember
And I've
that.
had matches where like people were basically it was like six of them beating the hell out of me, and then so I was like, well, I can't grab them because as soon as I grab one, one of them's just gonna hit me. So I just started swinging, and then you start hearing them go, oh, well, you're such a little bitch, and it's like I can't grab any of you. Well, what the fuck do you want me to do?
Fuck that shit, just start swinging. They better run.
Yeah, that's what I did. It's like, I'm just going to swing and kill all you little bastards until you run for your lives.
They were just mad because they had found a way that had worked to frustrate previous Jasons that didn't figure that out.
Mhm.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, from what I've been gathering from playing so much, is people want the Jason to, like, do all the unique kills and everything, but they also don't want him to kill them, so that they basically want to team up on him and keep him from doing anything. But if you do, just normal butcher kills, they get pissy about it. And some of them will leave the game.
Strange
I
market.
can't believe you didn't kill me the cool way.
Yeah.
The cool way.
Although that's not uncommon for people once they're out to just leave the game, because I mean, all they're gonna do is watch to see how everybody else dies. So I guess like PUBG
No.
or
Some of
something.
them like that I didn't even kill yet. Just flat out got pissed and left the game anyways.
Oh well, that's on them.
So and I
You're
got
not-
to kill Jason earlier as well.
Oh, that's cool.
I think
I
there
got
might be
to swear
cats
and
fighting
killed
behind me.
whoever was playing Jason on one game.
Yeah, there's definitely cats fighting behind you. The black and white one is standing up. looking all
Eleanor.
concerned.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
Tibby and Cleo are under the table. Tibby and Cleo don't
Mhm.
get along, so half of our time is spent playing games, and the other half is spent mediating angry kitties. Which is also kind of like a game, but they're real life stakes, so you don't want to like put your hand too close sometimes.
Eleanor's like, I can't be bothered now. She's leaving.
Yeah, Eleanor's lazy.
Yep.
She doesn't really care one way or the other. She just likes to watch to see what's happening, and then she goes right back to sleeping. That's our life. We're crazy cat people.
Oh, we know. We know.
I spent some time playing a little Fallout 4 this week. And I had a similar thing to Baka's with the physics thing. I used my VATS thing, and the mysterious stranger showed up to kill off whatever it was that had been shooting at, and it just launched the guy into space. I was like, because it slow mo's when you do the VATS kills anyways, and so it's slow mode, and the mysterious stranger shows up and shoots this dude, and he flies up into the sky, and by the time it comes out of the slow mo, I get to watch his gun rain down in front of me, but I don't know where the body went. Like, he's just gone. I was like, that's a new one. That's
Sent
fun.
them into orbit.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. It was also one of those things where it's like, you use the VATS thing to try to kill somebody, and it leaves them with like a sliver of health, and then all of a sudden mysterious stranger shows up and takes the light. It's like, dude, you couldn't have showed up when I was trying to VATS with that death claw over there. That would have been nice. No, this guy with like no health left that I could have totally just punched in the face as soon as I was done with the slow-mo. Thanks.
That's RNG for you.
Yep. Played some more Overcooked. My sister was here until midnight last night playing with us, which for most people, it's like you say, we played games till midnight, y'all are like rookies, but my sister works at a job where she has to be at work so early that like midnight is really late for her most of the time. Like she has to be at work at 3 o'clock sometimes. So for her to be here that long, it means that we were definitely in the middle of some stuff, and we were playing one of the expansions for Overcooked, and it was the Hangry Horde, and they have a horde mode for that, and oh my god, we were so frustrated. Like,
are you having to feed the horde?
yeah,
Is that what's going on?
Basically there's like in the Onion King's absence, because we all got kicked out of the kingdom,
Because of Kevin.
I hate Kevin. I hate that dog. Some rotten food shows up, and so
somebody took pictures of the Necronomicon and they got on the internet, and then some random scrubs decided to try to make their own undead food or their food out of the Necronomicon, and unfortunately those foods became zombies, and now you've got the Hangry Horde coming from everywhere.
Yeah, so we have to try to feed them,
What a story.
and we have like this castle area that you're in. You're on the battlements, and the bad food will come and like start banging on your structure, I guess, where you've got things kind of
Your windows where you have to board board them up to keep them out, and as they break them down and then start doing damage to your castle.
Yes, so
Very
you have to feed
interesting
them
dynamic.
what they want so that they'll go away, and it's the bread, which is fine. They're not too bad. The jalapenos are faster than the bread at breaking all of your stuff. And then they have these like big giant rotten apples that you have to feed twice instead of just once because they're so big, and they do significant amounts of damage. And the last level that we were on, which is I think the last one on the set, by the time you get to wave 6 of it, it spawns like 3 or 4 of the apple guys at one time, and then you've got to use the money that you make from serving food to use that to repair your building, basically. But you're trying to like shove food in these things' mouths, and it's pizza, and you've got to wait for it to cook, and the way that they've got everything set up, it takes forever to get the ingredients to the person that's chopping and then to get it to the oven. I mean, I swear I never thought a cute game like Overcooked would make me want to throw controllers, but last night I was about ready. Oh, I was so mad.
It's the quickest way to lose friends is playing that game.
Well, it's not so much, but
The quickest way to lose controllers.
it'd be different if it was like one of us kept consistently screwing it up so that we were mad at each other because you did something
Right.
wrong, but it wasn't that. It was like, I'm just mad at whoever designed this stupid level. So, but other than that, it was fun. We played the camp one, and we played the carnival one. And in the camp one, you get to make s'mores, and people put bananas on s'mores and strawberries on s'mores, and I just want to punch whoever thought that was a thing that you should do. Nobody puts banana slices on s'mores.
I will say this. Banana on a s'more doesn't sound bad. Because banana, marshmallow, the chocolate...
banana and the marshmallow. Like, banana chocolate, okay, I'm good with that. That's fine. But the marshmallow is what throws that off for me.
It's probably a textural thing, knowing you, though.
Probably
Yeah.
part of it.
So flavor-wise, I would say that I understand it. But I'd much rather use like a banana, even though I don't really care for the artificial banana flavor. I'd much rather use an artificial banana flavored like marshmallow than I would the two together.
Those are gross. Most of the time, banana flavored things are just nasty to start with.
I don't know. I love Laffy Taffy. That's banana flavored.
Banana flavoring on anything, banana flavor and fake orange flavor, I just cannot do.
Fake orange. No, not a fan of that either.
No. But we had the whole backpack.
As I drink orange Gatorade.
Yeah, see, I don't like the orange Gatorade either. I think it's weird if it's not orange juice. But we had last week we played some of the camping one, which had the backpack thing. So every new expansion introduces new mechanics. The carnival one is a cannon. You have to shoot people out of a cannon to go serve food. It was so fun. The carnival one's probably my favorite expansion.
That's awesome.
Like, we had this one kitchen that we were doing where my sister was doing all of the chopping and putting stuff in the... well, she would chop it and make everything, and then Chicken would put it in the oven. And by the time he'd put one thing in the oven, another would be coming out, so he'd get that and get in the cannon, and I would shoot him off to serve it. Oh, man. Cannons.
Just love.
It was so fun. Like, what a great mechanic. Like, whoever thought of the backpack idea, screw you. Whoever thought of the cannon idea, you're awesome. And if you're the same person, then you evened out.
I'm a big fan of cannons anyway. Got an entire game full of cannons. I shoot myself out of them all the time.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I did.
I actually finished the main plot line for Shadowkeep. When it came to the single player part of the campaign, if you will, or you could, of course, do a co-op too, but I just did it by myself. I finally got my Guardian up to 900, and I've got some really good drops, like some of the weapons and stuff that I've gotten I've really liked. Some of the armor and stuff I've really liked. I actually stored some of the armor, which normally I don't do. Normally I'm just like, nah, do this, and then I've got my one armor that I like. Plotline wise, I actually like the plotline. I like where it's building. I do have a problem with the last cinematic on this. I actually told Grif about this the other day, because like you get into this part and they give you this whole cinematic and you go through the whole thing and the guy gives you one line and you think it's going to continue. And instead it just goes to a load screen and then you zoom back up near an area to go talk to one of the people you normally talk to. And I'm like, well, that was...
I wasn't done with
kind of
that
anti... like, assholes? Like, like give me a screen that says end of Shadowkeep or some shit, like don't give me just that. And so... It is cool, though. It looks like they've added a lot of strikes and instances in the game that you can go through and play that are based on Shadowkeep. It's still frustrating to me that if I paid $60, we'll say because I think there's a $40 version, $60 version of Shadowkeep, and one has extra DLC that'll be added onto Shadowkeep. That for the last one, the Forsaken one, you still have to pay $26 for, which was the previous part of this. Like, I don't understand why they didn't include that in the free part. Like, because you can play this Shadowkeep without playing Forsaken, but there are parts of Forsaken that are still on the map that you can't touch, that aren't available to you unless you pay the $26 for that part of the game. And I'm like, just make it free. Like, it's... people are going to pay $40-$60 anyway. Don't worry about Forsaken. And maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe it's like they because at that time they were still part of Activision when that was released. So maybe there's still money to pay back for Activision. Maybe it was part of their contract. I don't know. Because we're coming up on a year since that was released, or right at a year since it was released. So maybe there's a certain thing with it. I don't know, but it's very interesting to me how good the mechanics are on that game. Like, I love the mechanics, always have loved the mechanics on the game, and just how good that game feels and how terrible it was to start with. But everybody I've talked to that didn't like Destiny 1, that maybe didn't like, that were Destiny 1 fans and didn't like Destiny 2 when it first started out, everybody's kind of in agreement of this is the most fun we've had in this game in a long time. So I'm hoping this is going the right direction for everyone. I really am. And then, recently we've got news that they're working on that other game, right? We talked about that. So I'm hoping this is the right direction for Bungie overall, and they'll just do what they need to. But I was satisfied with the way that the game was done. The only problem I have with it is part of you working through the last section, they're assuming you've played through Forsaken, and so there's almost spoilerish type things that they're going to give you. Like, it didn't bother me because I'm like, I don't really give a shit, I'm just going to kill things. But to some people that would, kind of bother them. But overall it was pretty good. Then we had a good night on Sea of Thieves this week. Of course, we do Sea of Thieves every Friday night, and we had a newbie on the, not to be confused with our friend newbie, we had a newbie as in a new person playing on the ship, which is about the same. The person had never really played the game before, and I didn't realize how much they hadn't played the game. Like, we turned in one chest, and I think they went up 8 levels because, it was one of the bigger chests, and I was like, oh shit, like, this person's really low on all their levels. And they weren't as familiar with the ship and everything. I'm trying to be really nice. They weren't as familiar with the ship and all the ongoings and all that stuff, and as the rest of us are. And you get used to playing with those same people, or people that play the game enough to where, I feel like if all 4 of us are on a ship again, that, if we're barking out commands one way or another, we all kind of get it because we have a similar style of selling. And I feel like people that sell on a regular basis have that similar style. And it's, in his case, he didn't know what he needed to do to on certain things, and he was like, I don't understand what I need to do in this game. And so we're trying to explain to him, but I don't think he was listening as much as he could have. So it was, but it was still a fun experience. Like, we went through, we had started off working on one of Duke's little missions that he had, and we ended up getting trapped by the Kraken, and the Kraken unfortunately ended up sinking us. Well, I was able to grab the piece that we were trying to move from one point to the other. I was able to grab it and or get close to it. Well, I got bit by a shark on the way there, and just as I'm reaching out to it to grab it again, I get bit by a shark. I was the last one left from the ship. I got bit again, and it was right next to our lifeboat that was just barely on its last leg. And I'm like reaching out toward it, and it's like dead. And I'm like, no! And none of us. They ended up spawning us on the other side of the freaking map, so we couldn't get to it in time anyway. So I was so mad about that, because I was like, oh, it'd been cool if I'd been able to at least get it on the lifeboat and get it out of the Kraken. No. So we ended up having to start a totally different mission. We finished that mission, and I had to explain to the guy ahead of time, because it was one of the Bloom Barrel ones. Do not touch this barrel, because I was afraid he was actually going to hit a right trigger and set the thing on and explode
why is this
everything.
Doing this, it's weird. I'm gonna bring it up to you guys. Maybe you can tell me what it is.
No.
Boom. Well,
it wouldn't matter.
Let me tell you,
it was the final one, so it wouldn't have mattered. He just had to have been within a mile of us, basically, and it would have destroyed all of us. Those things are ridiculous. So I was like, okay. But yeah, it was a fun night. We had a good time with it. Played a little Minecraft on Monday. It was kind of I don't want to say it was a boring stream, because it was a fun stream, but it was just kind of a boring night on Minecraft.
It was a low-key stream.
The low-key stream, there you go. Yep, so doing that. But I did get a new skin that I really like that looks medieval. And so the textures and stuff on it look totally different. It really looks cool. Somebody had suggested, and I went ahead and downloaded it. It's pretty awesome. So, but that's all I did. What you got, chicken?
Last week I told you guys I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain, trying to unlock a character. Well, right after I played right after the last podcast, and I unlocked him. I had the luckiest run I've ever fucking had, ever. Like, I mean, because I play the engineer, he's my main go-to now. You have 2 turrets that you could set down, and whenever you set them down, they inherit all of your items. And one of the best items in the game for him is the glowing fungus. If you stand still for 2 seconds, it releases an AoE healing aura around you. And basically you just set one down, set the other one down right next to it, and they share the healing, and then you stand right next to them, and you've got 3 giant AoE healing auras, and you could just stand there. And since I had, there's also another thing called a Tesla coil, and a few other items, I spawned the boss, I think it was on level 9, in like ha 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 territory. He died in 6 seconds. Everything died within 6 seconds. I didn't even move. Like, it just arced off fucking sparks, which started a chain reaction. Every time something dies, it explodes in flames, spawns daggers, which seek out everything else. So one thing dies, sends out everything to everything else, and everything just died immediately. I'm talking 6 seconds, the whole thing was just cleared out. I was like, oh.
That sounds very OP.
Oh, yes, it was. I was just
They're gonna
bopping
change
everything.
that.
No, it was just luck. I had 3 Tesla coils, which means whenever I dropped a turret, they each had 3 Tesla coils, which means every time they killed something, everything blew up, which was magnified 3 times. So it was just like, because if you have one character doing it, it's like, okay, you do a lot of damage. You have an engineer with that, you have 3 times the amount of items that somebody else does. So I was just standing there.
9 coils, basically.
Yeah, that means everything was literally just bopping. Granted, the achievement to unlock his second ultimate ability, you have to defeat a boss within 5 seconds of it spawning.
Wow.
It was 6 seconds because I saw it pop up, and it was like 8% of the ritual done when it was gone. I was like, oh, and I didn't realize it till I went and looked at it afterwards. It's like, oh, beat a boss within 5 seconds. Oh man, fuck! I wasn't even trying. But after that, the portal spawned that I needed, and I took screenshots because to unlock the last character, you have to sacrifice your run. You have to end it, and then you can unlock your character. And that was the best run that I've ever had. And I had to sacrifice it. I had to kill him to unlock that character. Oh, it hurt so bad, too. I just sat there going, of course, it had to be this run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But you did
but
it.
I did it. I sacked him. I got the last character. He's a melee character. Very, very difficult to play, but he's a lot of fun. So then I got to work on the last 2 characters that they've released since then to unlock. Other than that, I've also been playing a shitload of Slay the Spire. I'm sure you guys have seen it in passing.
Yeah, it's same people that did Bastion and yeah. So
Xbox Game Pass.
Transistor, yeah. It's that's a good company, like a really good company. Like, and they're at PAX West every year. And it's funny because they still have, because like Bastion and Transistor, I think, just made their way to Switch. Because they keep thinking, why are you still here? Because Slay the Spire came out like 2 years ago. And it's like, why are you all still here? But it's because they just keep re-releasing the game. So they should be having, I would think, based on when the other games were released, they should have a new game coming out probably next year.
Oh, yeah. They're still working on Slay the Spire too, adding more things into it and whatnot.
Yeah. So they're really, well, that's a game that they can really do that with. Where Bastion and Transistor's not really ones you can, because those first 2 are more story driven games based on the way that they're done, and like Transistor kind of just ends, if you will. So you have to, there's no real way to make a sequel to it. But so I'm very interested to see what they end up coming with next, because I feel like their games are kind of innovative and none of them feel the same. Not one of those games feels exactly the same.
So nice for it being a card game. It's so interesting. It's a dynamic styled RPG card game where you pick one of your 3 characters. I've already beaten the game with 2 of them, and I'm basically trying my hardest to beat it with the last one. I haven't beaten it, of course. I keep losing close to the end, unfortunately. But basically, you fight a monster. You have your cards, which are attack and defense cards, and then special powers and whatnot. And you draw 4 cards every turn. You have 3 power points. You can use the cards. Oops, that was me swiping the mic.
Angry face.
And then you just kind of work your way through and try to beat each of the bosses, collect artifacts and relics, which power up your characters, and all these different aspects. A lot of RPG mechanics in it. It's a lot of fun. And it is free on Game Pass, which everything else is too. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. That and WoW are all I've been playing this week.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
okay.
my fault. I was thinking of Pyre, not Slay the Spire. That's what it was. Sorry. Ignore everything I said before that.
Okay.
Well,
Got
the
it.
people who made Slay the Spire is still pretty good.
Yes, they are. That's Mega Crit, right?
I have no idea.
She was like, meh.
Maybe.
They make good game. Good game. Yeah, Mega Crit.
We ready to get into some news?
The
Little
little bit of
we have.
news.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
Little-
news, and the show is gonna be a little short anyway because we got some people doing house repair at 1 o'clock. So, you know, good times. Good times.
Yeah, we're all like, so it's early for us. For my
Yeah.
family,
I am on
sorry.
my second cup of coffee though. So.
I just finished my first big cup, so I should have brought a second big cup.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things in the news. You talk about
few
the Steam
things.
one?
Yeah,
I'd really like to talk about the Steam one because this is what your 30% goes to, by the way, folks, and that is industry standard. Everybody else takes 30%. Don't let Epic make you
bad.
think that Steam is taking a bigger cut than they actually are. 30% is what everybody takes.
Right.
But they're
Not
getting a new.
everyone. Well, with retail, like the like with GameStop or Walmart or anywhere, the new games, the places that sell them, like they get maybe about $2-3 for them. In comparison to where it's like
That's not how it used to be. Something has definitely shifted in that paradigm. They used to make a lot of
it's
money
been
off
been
of
like
it.
that for a long time.
They make off of the used games, not the new ones.
That's
Basically
true.
what he's saying. So that's the reason the used games are usually
Well,
pushed when you
yeah,
go.
but I mean, also like even still, like places like Walmart and stuff like that, they don't make much money off the new games. They don't make 30%.
No, definitely not.
But Steam is getting for the rest of the clients that sell games make the 30%.
Yeah.
But they are getting a new feature called local multiplayer, which means anybody who has played games online and has needed a bullshit third-party connection service to make your computers, like me and Baka, two different sides of the fucking country, to make it seem like we're in the same house so that we can play locally. We used Hamachi, and there are other programs that help you connect to each other. Steam is giving it to you on their client now, which is so fucking good. It will make things so much easier.
My favorite part about this too is the fact that only one of you has to own the game, which I think is fantastic because it's one of those where now this opens up the library because let's say that y'all are like, oh, let's do there's this new 6-player couch co-op that's coming out. Let's all play it. One of us has to buy it and the rest of us could all play it, which I think is brilliant. On so many levels. So it's, you're spending, let's say it's $20 for the game. One person spends $20. The next time a new co-op game comes out, somebody else spends $20.
You're just round robin the paying.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It makes me think of when we played A Way Out, because that's how that was too. Was Chicken had the Origin account up and it was on their pass thing, and then I didn't have to put that up to play it.
And here's, I think that there's going to be companies that aren't going to like this because they're going to afraid that their value of their game, people aren't going to be buying their game as much because of this. But I would actually argue to them the fact that it's giving an experience to people that don't own the game to want to buy the game because then they can have that experience with other friends.
It's like the chain effect, basically.
Yeah. I think that it's because now you're almost getting to try it with a friend that owns it and plays it and loves it or whatever, and
That is nice.
And then you can go, oh, I really like this game. I need to buy it. Because that's the same thing with, like, if you think of the Jackbox games, only one person has to own Jackbox. It's just everybody else, has to just log into their website or whatever, and then they can control and be part of the Jackbox games, which, is used for mainly streaming now is what most people use it for, but it's also set up for a couch co-op type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can... What I like about this is the that with Jackbox, people started watching people play Jackbox, or they were at a friend's house and playing Jackbox, and then everybody started buying Jackbox games because they wanted to have that experience with more of their friends. This is what gaming was originally. All of us sat on fucking couches and played with each other. Halo, the original Halo game, we had LAN parties. Like, this is what the game was about. And everybody had to go buy the game or whatever, but for the most part, 4 people could be playing at one time with the original Halo and original Xbox games, and then you just attach your other Xboxes as you went. So it was just, I think that this is, it's almost full circle when it comes to gaming, I think. And Steam, this is why Steam is who Steam is. Like, people sit there and bitch all the time about things that go wrong. Steam's not a perfect company. No. But
nobody is.
But they've got a shopping cart.
But they're innovative, right? Shopping carts.
Yes.
They're innovative.
Well, I wouldn't say innovative because this is a pretty normal thing. It's that they're so willing to just keep making stuff and keep making their client even better, keep evolving it.
But I think they're innovative when it comes to putting it all on one client.
Yes. They just keep piling up so much stuff in their client. Like, I mean, I honestly wasn't expecting anything else big after watching their library. They're putting so much effort into rebuilding it, and then they come out with something like this. It's like, oh wow, that and a library at the same time. Right. Holy shit, those are big ass projects that you have going on.
Steam is like my plate at Thanksgiving. Every time you think that I've put as much as I can in the plate, I put something else on top. Can't stop
like,
me.
Oh, would you like some more of this? It's like, yes, I'll take some of that.
It's awesome though. I love the fact that they're doing this because I think it's just perfect. It looks like it goes into beta around the 21st of this month. So anybody that's interested in that, make sure.
That's a relatively, that's 2 things that we've gotten pretty quickly in succession. They just did the update for the library thing that went into the beta.
Which is in beta.
It went into beta. So they're testing that out, and then now they're going to start a secondary test for this as well. So, I mean, Steam is giving us stuff that shows why they have the power to stand up, in a market where Epic's like, you shouldn't take so much money. It's like, here's what we're doing with that money.
Yeah.
It's not like we're just sitting over here rolling
fair,
in our cash.
If you want to know the difference between the 2 companies, it's real simple. Valve says we're going to be innovative and start adding things to our client for the community. We're going to change your library up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and give you this couch co-op thing. It's all going to be in beta. Epic says we've created a game that's made us billions of dollars, and it's still in beta too. So there's the difference in your companies, because Fortnite's starting chapter 2 evidently today, and it's still in fucking beta. Are you kidding me right now?
It's crazy to think that a game that has that much money behind it is still in an early access state, according to the developer.
Honestly, they want to milk it or push it as hard as they can, and when it starts dying out, they will do the whole Fortnite is finally being released, which will build up hype again.
That's exactly what it is. It's to keep the hype train going, and for anybody
it's typical marketing.
Yep.
Just don't fall for that kind of stuff, people. Come on.
It's like Ark at this point, where it's like, it's in beta for a few years.
No, it's full release after we've already done 2 DLC packs for it. Yay.
But it's free on your Xbox Game Pass. So you got that. If you want to play, it again, you play for free.
Next up is to start charging people for new maps.
Oh, like just on a multiplayer game, you have to have new maps. Call of Duty had that shit down a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Well, Halo even did that.
It worked
Halo.
For them. Why not for that? For Fortnite.
Yeah.
Actually, that's how they try to market it to you. Be like, other games will charge you for map packs. We never charge you for a new map. We just charge you for all of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they sell it to you, because you think you're getting something that's better than what it is. This is all free. But they want you to spend a whole bunch of money to look cool. Get all this exclusive stuff.
Meanwhile, Valve's sitting over there going, how can we get all of you all to play at the same time and only one of you buy the game?
Yeah. Thanks.
Again,
I'm with you on that, though. We're not trying to paint Steam as, the saints and saviors of a whole genre or anything. It's just
every
that they're
company has their
offering,
flaws.
as far as the argument from Epic going, well, Steam controls too much of the market and they take too much money. Well, this is why. It's not like they're taking that money just because they need to buy another, Porsche to put in the garage. Well, I'm sure
This is
Gabe probably has one.
And I'm probably gonna get some backlash on this, but this is the only way I can say this. Hold on, this is the only way I can say this. And all right, I feel like the Epic Store is the MySpace of stores, and then you have Facebook of stores, which would be Valve, right? Because it's one of those where I think that, or well, I mean, Epic could even be Friendster for that matter, which was way before that. So, but I think it's where what Facebook did from a social media standpoint is they wanted to put everything that you had, they wanted you on their site as much as they possibly could. So they created opportunities for that. That's the reason they had, was it Farmville or whatever that they had where people were sit there with their little animals and stuff. They started a little bit of gaming and stuff on there too, but they wanted you to have that on there. The difference is the fact that with Valve says, we want you to come to our site. We want you to buy here. We want your library here. We want you to feel secure. We want you to be able to game anywhere you want to be able to game and have that access, where Epic's like, no, we want you to buy games one at a time, only 5 in a day. You know?
There's so many rules with Epic. I want to go to the lawless
You're not going to be able to communicate with anybody. We don't believe in
how much.
Yes.
We don't believe in user review systems. You can't talk to anybody there. You can't make friends. You can't. I mean, it's like,
we want your money, but we don't want you to have fun with it.
Right.
We just want your money.
Yes. Buy this game. It's fun. Buy it under our specific strict guidelines, though, and no, you can't talk to anybody while you're doing it.
Exactly.
Aww.
Exactly.
Man, I rely on those Steam reviews, let me tell you.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Live
And
on
to be
those
fair, I
things.
think Steam has a little more integrity than Facebook, in just my opinion.
Valve, I would agree with.
Yes, Valve. Valve definitely has more integrity than
I would agree with that.
Facebook.
All right, let's move along here. Starbreeze, which is the company that we've talked about a few times on the show, of course, made Payday and Payday 2. Of course, they recently made Overkill's The Walking Dead, and it's absolutely got trash reviews. I think it got removed from everything that was ever on.
That's about accurate.
Because the game was completely trash. Well, guess what? Starbreeze, the makers of The Walking Dead on Steam, are now The Walking Dead of the industry, and the fact that they are limping along and stating the fact that by 2022 2023, we should be getting a Payday 3.
If they make it that far.
Do you think I mean, they're literally The Walking Dead of video game industry right now. Like, this is
still on Steam? I just opened my
What,
Steam
Payday
to check.
Payday?
No,
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
Oh, The Walking Dead.
I think it got
Walking
removed.
Dead
I think it is.
Onslaught? Was that
No,
it's
it's
Walking Dead
Overkill's. Overkill's The
Oh.
Walking Dead.
Okay.
So, but they're stating that by 2022, 2023, that we're going to get Payday 3. And they've let off half their staff. They had a CEO that ended up going to jail. I mean, like, they're having all types of damn issues at this company. And it just, what's interesting to me is they get a kickback from a game called Payday Crime War. It's a mobile game.
I was going to say, is that their mobile game?
That's the mobile game. And so it's a publishing agreement with I guess whoever developed the game. So I don't know if I wonder how much better Payday 3 is going to be than Payday 2 if you don't have the money to put into Payday 3.
Oof. It'll probably just be Payday 2, just with a 3 on it instead
was
of...
it APB that ended up charging for every fucking thing on the planet? Okay, so that's what I think Payday 3 is going to be, because they've got to figure out a way to be able to make their money back. I mean...
True.
Well, that ended up being glitchy as hell too, right?
Yeah, it was a little glitchy, but the original version was pretty good. It was mostly solid, and it was a lot of fun. And then they ruined it, which hurts me so deeply. I hate them. I was a cop. I ran around, tase people, arrest them. It was fun.
I ran around with them with a hockey mask, no shirt, and a tie.
I just
no
rode around in the
shoes.
van. I never knew what was going on.
And I actually unlocked a sniper rifle, so I'd hang out the side of the van, and while they were running, I'd snipe at them and shoot them.
Was an interesting dynamic, but now we've got this to look forward to, which is I don't know. The Payday games have a very specific formula, I guess,
Yes.
to it, and that's fun for a little while, but I feel like those are not games that are long-term games. I also feel like in some ways a lot of the Payday stuff could have been just expansions to your existing base game instead of being like, and Payday 2! It's like...
Well, I think they could have done the same thing with, like, they could have had Payday 2, right? Had your little expansion stuff go on, and then the Overkill's Walking Dead game could have just been an expansion. Like, it could have been just a little scenario that's part of that game, just a little bit of a DLC instead of its own standing thing. Because I think the setup was very similar.
it's not on Steam, so I don't remember.
Well, from what I watched people play of it, it was basically like, it was the.
You're pointing. Does that mean our repair guy is here?
Yes.
Half an hour early? Oh
Yeah.
my friggin' jeez.
I'm just saying. He wanted me to let you know, so I'm letting you know.
I mean, I really want to talk about the Blizzard thing, but I know that, like, basically what they're doing at our house is putting up gutters. So in about, like, 5 to 10 minutes, there's going to be the sounds of drilling and other really noisy stuff going on in the background, and I'm super upset. Because when you say a time, you need to stick to that time. Oh my god. Okay, alright, well, I guess we gotta go then. Sorry guys, we'll talk about Blizzard and that whole debacle next week. We'd really like to talk about it this week. You can thank our repair guy for showing up half an hour early.
There you go. We appreciate it. It hangs out with us each and every week in Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slanum.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure you go to Grif's YouTube channel where she's currently playing through Red Dead
No Red
Redemption
Dead
2.
this week because I can't record while that's going on outside. So, no Red Dead this week.
So
Unless
next
I
week.
can get to it tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to make any promises.
Opportunity to catch up, folks. Opportunity to catch up. So make
Yes.
sure that you go onto there and take the opportunity to catch up with so you can get the
And
new
make sure
material
you're
fresh.
keeping the counter for how many times she's killed a pony.
They don't kill them. They just fall down.
I was gonna say, how many
I
times the
haven't
pony
killed them at
falls
all.
down?
I have Horse
How many
Reviver
times-
on me all the time. They will never die.
They will never die. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313. Chicken Overwatch. I mean, not Overwatch. WoW this week.
Wow, tonight, yep.
Wow. Okay. And then mixer.com/MDB Oaktree, where I will be playing through Greedfall for the next 3 days. And then I will be leaving to go to EGLX this next weekend, which is Canada's largest gaming show. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's as good of an experience as PAX West is, just at a smaller scale. So for Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
Yeah, Baka.
See ya.
Bye.